What's going on, Fragrance family? It's your man Gator, better known as the Novice Nose out here in these fragrance streets. And you guys saw the thumbnail, man. We're going to be diving into the house of Lattafa today. More specifically, we're going to be diving into a note that they do really well, and that's the note of tea. Got a few fragrances here that actually exemplify exactly what we're talking about here. You guys know the drill, man. Go ahead, pull up, and stay tuned. So we're gonna start the video out today, man, with a fragrance that's actually newer to the collection. I've talked about it on a couple of videos recently, and I'm gonna dive into this thing a little bit again, man. This is a new one from Lattafa. It's called Dynasty. Here we go here. Now, I'm not even sure I put the full review out on this thing yet. Depends on when the video actually loads in the rotation, man. But I can tell you that this is one of my favorite tea fragrances, man, in general, full stop here, to be released in the last couple of years here. Let me get a little spritz here in the air. Now, what you're getting from this is basically a beautiful bergamot note here. You're gonna get a nice robust tea that's gonna kind of settle in here behind it, and a vetiver that's gonna be on the baseline. I think this is actually inspired by Clive Christian's red tea vetiver. So all of those things I just said make complete sense here. This is beautiful in the air, guys. This is, I think I compared this on another video to like having a glass of cold tea and, you know, squeezing some citrus into it. That's how this thing opens up. It's bright, has a little bit of an effervescence to it. Great pickup, man. Beautiful in the fall. I think it can deal with some warmer weather here, but I think it's perfect wheelhouses for the spring and the fall. Gorgeous fragrance, man. If you have not put your nose on it, make sure you do, man. Again, this is Lattafa's Dynasty. Now, when we think about tea fragrances, a lot of times we don't think about the fragrance Imagination. It's known for a whole bunch of different aspects here, compliment magnet, all of those different things. But a lot of people don't think about the tea, although the tea is a major part of that fragrance here. Well, Lattafa actually took that DNA and they added a little bit more of an oomph to that tea note here. They do it really well. They did it better than a lot of people did actually when they first dropped this fragrance. Fragrance I'm talking about here is this one. This is Art of Arabia 1. Now, Art of Arabia 1, like I said, inspired by Imagination here from the house that shall not be named. Opens up beautifully. It's very similar to the way that Imagination does open up here, and this one actually has a more accurate tea note here, that black tea, than most of the inspirations that are out there on the market. Now, it kind of turns into more of a tea and lavender fragrance as it goes into the dry down here, so it's not a one-to-one with Imagination, even though it does open up almost a one-to-one with that fragrance, man. This is a fragrance that kind of got, you know, looked over for all of the other inspirations of Imagination, but to me it's one of the better ones, at least more accurate at the opening. After the dry down, not so much. It becomes its own thing, but as its own thing, it's a great tea fragrance. Again, this is Lattafa's Art of Arabia 1. Now, the next one we're going to talk about is just so good, man. A lot of people talked about this fragrance when it first dropped. I mean, it's got all of the aspects of the fragrance that it's inspired by. You're getting this beautiful, subtle fig note in the background here, creamy sandalwood here, this warming cardamom here, and the most important part, that black tea. This is Liam Gray. Technically, I think it's just called Liam, but because there's a Liam Blue Shine, I think we just call this one Liam Gray because of the the color of the juice in the bottle, man. Gris Charnel, man, is what this is actually inspired by. Very good interpretation of that particular DNA here. This one projects fairly decently here for the first hour or so. After that, it kind of becomes like a skin scent to foot off of the skin. It has a nice sillage for the first 3 to 4 hours on this fragrance. It's not like a super outstanding performer here, although I do get about 8 hours or so on skin. But when I say that this is one of the most lovely skin scents and one of the most calming, soothing styles of fragrance that's out there, man. Most tea fragrances, going back to Lattafa's Dynasty here, as another example of it, are really soothing kind of fragrances. This one is no exception to that rule here. And then, like I said, it just kind of gives this beautifully creamy and almost lactonic style of tea. Beautiful fragrance in the air, man. If you have not put your nose on this thing, what are you waiting for? You gotta get this in the collection, man. This is, again, Lattafa's Liam Gray. Now, the last one we're going to talk about here isn't really known as much for being a tea fragrance as it's known for being more of a woody, warm fragrance. However, the tea is what actually makes this fragrance so good, and it's actually a white tea. We're talking about this fragrance right here, man. Of course, the gaudy bottle here. This is Lattafa's Emir. Let's see if I can get a good crop on the bottle there. There we go. Lattafa Emir, man. This fragrance, like I said, it's known as this just beautiful aromatic woody fragrance. You get some juniper berry in there, man, to give it a little bit of a bite. But the main thing that I like about this fragrance is the one that part of it that doesn't get talked about very much, and it's that white tea. So white tea, when you put it in a fragrance, it gives kind of an almost an herbal kind of vibe too, but it also helps to kind of mainline, balance out the fragrance in here, man. It kind of adds to the smoothness of this fragrance here, keeps it from being as bitter, even though it has kind of a green note here. It just gives this subtle kind of smooth woody vibe to go along with the way that the sandalwood presents there. Beautifully done. You can really, if you smell the fragrance, you can kind of pick up the tea in here when you spray it on, especially as you get into like that hour worth of that dry down here. It really kind of peeks his head out, makes his appearance, and shines through, man. Without the white tea in this fragrance wouldn't be what it is. It adds to that green, almost woody nature to the fragrance. As far as longevity on this thing, 8-9 hours on skin for me. Beautifully aromatic, man. Projects arm's length here for the first maybe 3 to 4 hours, well, maybe 3 hours on me. Kind of comes down into a skin scent, you know, around that hour 4 and 5 here. Sillage kind of lasts throughout the day though. Gorgeous fragrance, and for guys, especially during the fall in the spring, man, this thing is unparalleled as far as like just a beautifully masculine fragrance, guys. If you have not put your nose on this, put your nose on, but despite the gaudy bottle, because everybody sees this bottle is like, this is super feminine. Nah, this is actually a lot more masculine than people give it credit for, man. If you've not put your nose on it, put your nose on it, man. This is Lattafa's Emir. And that's all we got today, guys, man. Like I said, Lattafa does that tea note very well. And as you see, there's different variations that they put out there. All of them really good, man. I suggest that you put your nose on each and every one of those, man. Have you put your nose on any of them, man? And what was your favorite one of all the ones that we talked about today? Make sure you put it in the comments, guys. And as always, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and of course, share this video with somebody you know that loves fragrances. And as we always say, guys, no matter what you're doing, however you're doing it, make sure you make today the best day ever on purpose. Peace out.